At the moment, I am struggling to finish my December schedule along with hanging into my January schedule for the following year, but let me just say this right now. I just recently deleted another YouTuber tribute, which marks the third time I've done this. First being Faberheart and the second for no good reason, and now the third is Star Giant Productions. In all honesty, the fact that I've heard about this YouTuber back in 2018 and I had the interest to do a YouTuber tribute of this girl's or guy's channel in 2019. I was mostly into most of the content and creativity that this person has, mostly from the earlier years. But let me just say this right now. If you're a subscriber to Mr. Ento, and he uploaded a video regarding Star Giant Productions last night, which is also a re-upload because of fixing a rendering issue, you can instantly tell that Star Giant Productions have fell from grace, but in all honesty, I highly doubt that Star Giant Productions won't be able to apologize of what she did with Mr. Ento and his workers. Because let me just say this right now. I have seen so many apology videos from people who groom minors, and even though that Star Giant Productions doesn't groom minors, I still doubt that she would be able to find a simple solution to apologize of her behavior and the fact that she is really not a good editor. I need to point this out. The reason why I got into her content is because of her Louis Ultra videos back in 2018. And the two Louis Ultras that I made of 2019 and this year were deleted. I deleted those because Star Giant Productions was the reason why I made those videos, to give my own perspective on the whole Louis Ultra scandal. But in all honesty, even though that Lily Orchard is still the same as she was, I'm pretty sure that after seeing Star Giant Productions, there's really no improvements into anyone, and it's difficult to pick which side is better than the other. Because let me just say this right now. If you remember that Louis Orchard actually hates being an enter of Josh Scorchwell back in the earlier 2010s, well, this is basically the same thing. Star Giant Productions is dealing with issues with Mr. Ento and the fact that she got fired. She's gonna become the second or third Louis Orchard. And believe me when I say this. As much as I do not enjoy Mr. Ento's old videos like I used to, and most of his newer videos are mostly mediocre at best, I'm pretty sure that if you are ever an editor of with these types of people, you should always know what to expect from your boss, because Mr. Enter isn't a terrible YouTuber. He may have done terrible things involving his anger towards other cartoons, but at the same time, he's regretful. And the thing is, considering that Star Giant actually sees him as an abuser because she got fired from him, is unbelievable. Like, so unbelievable. Believe me when I say this. I do not use Discord servers or Twitter or anything. I mean, I do use Twitter, but not usually a lot what other people usually do. And the thing is, the fact that Star Giant Productions just completely insults one of Mr. Ento's friends and workers, even though that she's mostly a day late and just isn't aware of what is actually going on in the present day, and the fact that most of her editing skills is really poor compared to other YouTubers, then I honestly feel like it's coming to a point that Star Giant Productions just can't be able to accept the criticism from other people who she mostly caused to herself. Because the thing is, I'm not a good editor. I have never been a good editor whatsoever. And considering that I'm dealing with a lot of copyright issues, it's difficult to make a perfect video with moving footage, and it's mostly rare when most of that stuff happens. But even if I did have an editor and had the ability to make money by giving the editors some money for their effort, I'm pretty sure that I would not treat them disrespect even if I'm the boss and they're the employees. And the same can be said in reverse. Because let me tell you, I may not be a good editor, but for someone who made a longer video with footage, not to mention a fanfic reading that is mostly 4 hours and 15 minutes, I'm not kidding, and the fact that I actually try to have my videos be consistent despite the fact that I'm mostly skipping a few editing problems, I'm pretty sure that Star Giant Productions just doesn't understand the definition of padding out the one time. Yes, I know I pad out a lot, and I mean a lot, but at the same time, I try to get every information I have in my mind. Like I said, most of my videos are all unscripted. But believe me when I say this, I've seen a few people, mostly from other YouTubers who made videos on Star Giant Productions, mainly on her review on the Loud House movie. And believe me, I'm pretty sure that the fact that people are calling her out that her editing isn't improving whatsoever and it still remains as the same, it really sums up of what she is experiencing with other users, including Mr. Ento. Because believe me, the fact that she just wages a lot and just to get some kind of attention, it really proves to me that this whole wage YouTuber concept is really overstaying its welcome and it's starting becoming done to death. Believe me, I did wage in my earlier videos in 2017 and 2016, but the thing is, they were old, and whenever I talk about something bad, mostly in my Cartoon Crisis reviews that I did last year in November, I did wage, but at the same time, I don't go over the top because there were a few moments that I absolutely despise, but I try to keep them to myself. And believe me, I've seen a few people completely calling out Star Giant Productions' behavior and the fact that she really is one of the biggest reasons on this whole scandal is happening towards her. If you don't believe me, she made a cartoon community tier list. Well, it features YouTubers old, retired, or just forced to leave because of a terrible thing they did, but also the present. And you all know the first person that she just put in the F scale, which you pretty much knew what it is, Mr. Ento himself. I don't know about you, but I don't even think that if I'm ever going to do a tier list like that, I wouldn't just put someone that I would really enjoy in the fact that I might get fired of, would put them on the F tier. I don't. It just doesn't really make any sense, and it really sums up everything of what Lily Orchard is doing, because she completely talks about him way longer than necessary, like way longer in order to give her points across. But believe me, it's not even like it's going to do much of her favors, because she is just going to lie a lot. Like, I mean, a lot. And if you really think that's going to be an issue of how she is treating others when they just don't usually just make a stand for themselves in order to prove that Lily Orchard is lying, then I gotta say for a fact that this is pretty much what Star Giant Productions is right now. Sorry for the stuttering, but she's become the next Lily Orchard, and the sad thing is that she's gonna keep getting more subscribers, but it's gonna come to a point where people are going to find out about this. And believe me when I say this, is that her recent videos, the 2011 Winnie the Pooh movie, you can instantly tell that she's just decreasing in positivity. Mostly at the fact that people can instantly see the true colors of what they really are. And even if you do these types of stuff, you should have full knowledge that everyone is mostly important and they're entitled for their opinions on what they'll feel about the situation. And considering that there's going to be more people about to send more videos regarding Star Giant Productions, and I'm not saying from Mr. Enter, but other people, including me, it's going to come to the point that Star Giant Productions would instantly have no other choice but either leave the internet for a long time or try to explain everything about her actions, but that'll be another long video. But I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to sit through her longer videos again, because it just doesn't really feel like it's really worth to watch longer videos involving Star Giant Productions. And to prove my point on the fact that Star Giant Productions just can't be able to improve on most of the editing is the fact that no matter what video she uploads and no matter what she tries, they're basically the same from every other YouTuber, because Pixar Path is basically the same thing that what Lily Ultra does when she watches a movie which is in a theater section and she completely comments most of the details in the movie, well, during the point in the movie, that is. With this whole Timon and Pumbaa skit that we're all familiar with, and we can really see Louis Ultra doing this method, and then we see Star Giant Productions using this method, I got a feeling that Star Giant Productions is secretly interested into Louis Ultra, except that she's trying to prove herself that she is better than Louis Ultra, even though that she's becoming like Louis Ultra. I mean, can you really think about how much that Louis Orchard really would improve most of the criticism if one of those YouTubers would instantly become them? Because let me tell you, it's way more unconvincing in the fact that Star Giant Productions is in this scandal that she put herself into, and the fact that she's not giving everyone a chance on expressing what they're feeling at this situation. It just proves that she's just making this way more difficult for herself and way more easier for other users to handle. Because believe me, it's way more disappointing to think that she became what she despises. And it's really difficult to think that most of the videos, especially the infamous ones where she completely puts Mr. Miyamoto as the first SF, and she spent nearly this long amount of time. Seriously, I wouldn't spend this much time. I may go for about 3 to 5 minutes, but not like 17 minutes. It's way more unnecessary. In fact, it just becomes a lot more confusing than anything. And the fact that the true colors of what other people would see involving Star Giant Productions, and the fact that people are making a stand for themselves after watching Mr. Enter's video, then, in all honesty, I highly doubt that Star Giant Productions has a solution in order to fix this hole that she got herself into. It's difficult to be perfect, and it's difficult to make most of the videos good for everyone, especially if they're in a longer and more unnecessary length, which myself includes. But on the other hand, whenever I see people making longer videos, it's not because it's bad or anything in the fact that they're panning it out. I usually watch these videos so that they can have all the details and you won't miss out a single thing. I understand people cannot stand long videos, but for me personally, it can give more information on the person itself. And if I actually expect Star Giant Productions to make an hour-long video involving Mr. Enter and the fact that she's just gonna make stuff up, then I'm pretty sure that Mr. Enter's video that is 33 minutes long will probably beat Star Giant to the punch. I don't even think that if she makes an apology video, people she will probably make more stuff up in order to prove herself that she is better than everyone else. Like, really. I didn't watch her videos because she was an editor of Mr. Enter. I watched her videos because of her critique on Louis Orchard. And with her first video involving Louis Orchard back in 2018, it was good. But considering that we're in the present while she's becoming like a Louis Orchard, I honestly think that trusting all the YouTubers of that you've ascribed to isn't really the best thing, because you can't always trust everyone, which is actually the sad truth of them all. I really trusted Starchild Productions, and I did enjoy most of her videos. But just by watching most of her videos regarding of what she feels about the worst episodes of Jimmy Neutron, and even though that I did liked that video, but not anymore, and the fact that she's just expressing her hate constantly and she repeats the same thing over and over again, I'm pretty sure that liking this video wasn't really a good idea. I mean, though, I will admit that there were more worse episodes in other cartoons and there's no escaping to it, but I'm pretty sure that she only made these videos not because of the fact that she wants to do a different project for her own pleasure, but the fact is that she would instantly, and I mean instantly, try to block everyone out of it in order to prove herself that she is the better person, even though at the end of the day there was really no point to being a better person when you're mostly a poor editor who just attacks other people, even though that they're trying to speak the truth, and the fact that and the fact that you never listen to them shows a lot more about Star Giant Productions than the other employees of Mr. Enter. So, yeah. If anything, if you're curious into watching the videos I've showed you, except this one, I wasn't advertising, I'm just letting you know, I'm just proving my point about me making longer videos isn't the same as her, despite with similarities, then go watch these videos and just actually see of how toxic Louis Orchard is, because this video, Mr. Enter's video alone, really shows that she has far from grace, even though that there was a simple path that she would fall from grace and stay on the Sultan ice block, the iceberg, in order to prevent herself from falling or sinking. And let me tell you, I really don't know if she's going to be able to reverse all the damages that she caused. It's a shame, like really a shame. And if she does make an apology video, I might consider on doing a commentary on that if I got the chance. Granted, it's going to push away most of my schedules involving Christmas in January, but at the same time, I am still struggling, and I'm also struggling at a slow pace by doing my fanfiction for my December schedule. So, I'm Lonely Fanboy 4 here in Star Giant Productions. You have fell from grace.